Then I have to get rid of you. Actually did that wrong. I actually recorded and then pressed mute, but whatever. All right. I have a new setup for my tablet thingy. I have a new stand I'm pretty excited about. So I can keep it in kind of line with my Wi-Fi and yet tilt it so it's angled at me. So it's hopefully it works well and you guys can hear me and see me okay. We'll start in our seated mountain pose as usual. And so the seat bones are pointed down, the feet are flat on the floor. And you can lift and lower the toes. And this will kind of root the ball of your foot and your heel and lift your arch a little bit. So, excuse me, lift and lower the toes. Kind of feel it engaging the feet a little bit. And then set all your toes back down. And we'll have a long spine with imagining the back of your head is placed on the wall behind you. So it's kind of lifted. So if you had a book on the top of your head, you could keep it balanced, or you're trying to be as tall as possible. And close our eyes or take a soft gaze. And we'll check in and notice what we're bringing to the chair this morning. So physical things to notice, emotional things. What's the status or condition of your mind at this point in the morning? Or part in the day if it's not morning where you are. And we will take a second to think about an intention or an affirmation or a dedication for this practice this morning. So an affirmation is in like it's already happened. You're already this. You know, sometimes I lack in patience, so often I'll say that my affirmation is that I am patient or I am tolerant. So if you want to say an affirmation, it's kind of set up like that. An intention maybe is I want to be a little bit more focused during class, or I want to focus on my breath. And then dedication is just sending some love to someone else that could use it. And then we'll start to move here with the breath. On the exhale, we're going to dip the chin towards the chest and round the spine. So it's a two-part motion here. And the inhale will sit up tall, bring the chin up slightly and back. And then exhale, chin to chest and round through the spine. We'll just do a few of those. Inhaling, getting tall through the spine, maybe even arching the back a little bit, and then exhaling and rounding. Now, if you can make the breath and the movement match up. So let's say it takes 4 seconds to inhale, make your movement last that 4 seconds. And then again, we'll sit up tall. And we're going to bring our right hand to our right shoulder, and we're going to circle the elbow. So you can go slow or go a little bit faster, but see if you can notice your circle. So is it circular? Is there any like bumps along the way? And then we'll start to make this circle even bigger so that we actually start to turn the torso. So circle up in the front and then back towards the back of our chair. And one more circle here. And we're going to reach for the back of the chair. So we're letting go of our shoulder and we're opening up our right shoulder towards the back of our chair or towards the right side of our chair. Kind of twisting gently. We're not yanking ourselves around. And then we'll inhale back to center. Take a moment, notice the right and left shoulders, see if there's any differences there. And then we'll bring the left hand to the left shoulder and start to circle the elbow. One of the cool things about the new setup that I bought is it's got a telescoping, whatever. It's taller and shorter base on it. So I can actually set it up above chicken height. So the chicken can walk by now and not get, you know, completely in the screen. Right now it's on a countertop, so the chicken should be able to pass under just fine. How many yoga instructors can say that they have to adjust their camera so that the chickens can pass by and not block the screen? And we're bringing the left elbow down here. We're going to reach for the back of our chair. So we're opening the left side, the left shoulder towards the left side of the room or towards the back of the room. And our inhale brings us back to center. So if you can, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the head with the thumbs pointed down. And we're going to kind of lift up on the back of the head as we tilt our head back. So we're pressing our head back into our hands and our shoulder blades are moving down the back. See if you can push them kind of or move them down and bring the head up. Good. And then we'll come back to neutral and release. We're going to tilt the head to the right and extend the left arm out to the left. Now you can play around a little bit, dipping the chin towards the chest. I'm taking a quarter of a circle here. Kind of moving the head back and then dipping the chin towards the chest. Come back through center, tilt the head to the left, extend the right arm. You can kind of move the head back and forth. It's kind of very humid here today and storming a little bit. So this kind of weather really seems to aggravate my neck. It's like the first place. So we'll take our head, we'll come back to center here. Notice how you feel. And we're going to turn to look over our right shoulder. You can take your fingers up by the ear and draw down your neck. And you can use as much pressure, as much or a little pressure as you want. If you find any knots or bumps that you want to just press into, you can hold. I think my neck issues aren't really helped by the amount of pillows I have on my bed. Come back through center and turn your head to look over the left. You can hold here or you can even run the fingers down the neck. The rain's starting back up again. And then we'll come back to our neutral, back to our mountain pose here. And now we will take some wrist rolls. So I have a very, very plush carpet kind of to my left and in front of me right now. And it's, I don't know, something somebody gave to me. It's probably about a 4x6 carpet. It's blue. And the plushie on it is about, you know, an inch high, each inch deep. Well, I just had a chicken come in and start scratching around on it like it's grass. It's kind of funny. We'll sweep both arms up on the inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Taking the wrist roll. I start on the left, but you don't have to. Taking a stretch at the top if you want. And then wrist roll right back down. So if you're matching the breath to the movement, you know, again, if it takes 4 seconds to inhale, try to take 4 seconds on your arm here. Now, if you want to hold your breath at the top, you can. And wrist roll right back down. We'll sweep both arms up. You can bring your gaze up if it's comfortable for your neck, but we're not crunching the back of the neck if possible. So maybe you bring your gaze kind of like at the crease between the ceiling and the wall ahead of you. So it's up, but it's not like super up, right? We're going to push the ceiling away and we're going to fold. We'll scoop the sternum, lift to a halfway point here, and then exhale and fold. Sweep both arms up. Belly tucks in, exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Wrist roll. So yesterday I saw somebody that they asked me if I was still doing chair yoga. And I said, yes. I said, I'm doing the classes on Zoom. And she goes, oh, so you're not doing it anywhere? And I'm like, yeah, in my house. And she's like, okay, smarty pants. Inhale, arms up, push the ceiling away, get really, really, really tall, and then exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. Sweep both arms up. We're going to exhale and twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to the heart. I guess I was just feeling a little snarky yesterday. One of the things I've noticed about myself, you know, I've been journaling and doing all that kind of stuff, and I really don't like it when people ask me questions, apparently. Not lately. I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know, I do so much effort to kind of share everything. And then when someone asks me a question about something I've already shared, it's frustrating. Hey, there's Nancy. Sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away and fold. So that's on me. You know, I need to, again, have that tolerance and answer questions like I would expect someone to answer mine. Exhale and fold. Sweep both arms up. Exhale and twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right knee comes up. give it a squeeze, and we'll take some ankle rolls. So we're trying to keep the chest lifted. We're not rounding the back, although that is difficult. I wonder if Nancy is frozen. Are you frozen, Nancy? I can't tell if she's sitting still or if she's frozen. We'll inhale the arms up. And then exhale, the other knee comes up, and we'll take some ankle rolls. She's got to be frozen. Unless she's doing the mannequin challenge. That's, oh, there she's moving. And then ankle roll to the other side here, other direction. Notice my ankle is not very circular on this side. We'll sweep both arms up again. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Wrist roll. Our last time through. Hold at the top if you want. And then wrist roll right back down. Ugh. Switching sides. So definitely tolerance is something I need to work on. Sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away and exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to the center. We're going to exhale, give one knee a squeeze. I don't care which one. Squeeze it in towards the chest. Inhale, extend. The foot is flexed. We'll lower that heel down to the floor, and the hands come to the opposite thigh for support. You can stay completely upright, or you can hinge forward. The more your foot is flexed and the more you're hinging forward, the more intense the stretch is on the back of the leg. So just go to what feels good for you. The funny thing about me getting questions is I think I identify as a teacher. I love it when people ask me questions, but I get frustrated, I guess, when I feel like I've already answered it. Something to work on. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the other knee up, give it a squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Hands come to the other thigh. Hinge forward as much as you find comfortable, and the foot is flexed. And we'll inhale the arms up, draw that other foot back, and exhale, hands to the heart. So let's work a little bit on the halfway lift here. So I'll turn to the side real quick. So we go from upright. Let me get to the edge. So we go from upright to a forward fold. So my whole back is pretty much rounded. And so another way for the halfway lift is to reach for the shins, scoop the sternum. So it's like pulling your chest forward, but it also feels like my shoulder blades are moving down my back. So they're protracted, they're out and up, my shoulder blades. And then this way, they're pulling down my back. So just tiny little flow here between forward fold and halfway lift. So we exhale, fold, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, inhale, halfway lift. So it's pulling the shoulder blades down the back. One other thing that this does is it engages your back so that it can support your spine and your abs. Exhale, round, fold, inhale, halfway lift. So you can even do this with your hands out. We've done this before, hands are out, but it's this whole, you probably feel it, this engagement in the low back and low ribs. You might feel your muscles kind of tucking in and holding you. So I just wanted to kind of break that down a little bit. All right, we will do our rock to stand. Fix my pants first. So hands can be out in front, and kind of lean forward and lift slightly. And keep an eye on the knees, keeping the knees supported. If you have a block, this is a great time to use a block between your knees, especially if you feel like your knees want to press in. You can take a big book. You got dictionaries still in the house, kind of press that between your knees and lower. Your handbag, depending on how big your handbag is, and press that between your knees. That might make you a little bit more apt to hold it and then come all the way up. I find the block actually helps a lot with engaging the lower half of the body. So we're gonna walk around the back of our chair. And we're just going to rock forward onto the balls of the feet and press up here tall. So come up, roll back, stick the booty out a little bit, roll back onto the heels, and then come up onto the balls of the feet and roll back. Now, if you have one of those chairs that you can put your foot on the bottom. My uncle knows I'm teaching a class. Why do they honk when they go by? Anyway, heel is down, toe is lifted. You could do something like that. But we're going to take a big step back with the right foot and have the right heel down. So my right leg is straight. It doesn't feel like my knee is locked out. You can take a slight bend to the right knee, but the left knee is bent. So we'll take a couple breaths here. Now, if you want to work on balance, you could bring your hands to the heart. We'll take a couple breaths here. The further your legs are apart, the more intense the stretch probably is for most people, unless you're super flexy, because there's those people. But this is about as far as I can get them apart, maybe about 2.5 feet apart. And the more that they're on like a tightrope, the harder it is to balance. So if you're finding balance is a challenge or it's hurting your hips, you want to bring maybe your left foot out to the left a little bit. So they're farther apart, more like this. Okay, does change the stretch that you get on that right leg. Okay, we're going to step up, bring the right foot up to meet the left. Take a moment to notice the changes between the right and the left, if any. And then we're going to step back with the left foot. So your right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Your hips are kind of pointed towards the chair. So if your hips can't point towards the chair and they're kind of off to the side, maybe you might bring your left foot out to the left a little bit so that your hips are pointed towards the chair. And then bring your hands to the heart if you want to have a little balance challenge here. And then we'll step the left foot up, to meet the right. Okay, so I am moving my chair over onto my right side here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to inhale, lift the left knee, and then exhale, step it back to crescent lunge. So we're pressing into the right, bring the left knee forward, and then step back, crescent lunge. So lift and lower, bring it back. Do a couple more here. So I'm on the ball of my left foot when I set it back. Lift and lower. Good. Then come back to your mountain pose here, your standing mountain pose. So you might notice some effort on the part of the right leg. We're going to switch our chair. And we'll inhale, lift the right leg, and then step it back. Lift and step it back. So this action, the stepping back action, is done in a lot of vinyasa classes. If you want to try it without holding onto the chair, you can. And then bonus points for going super slow. Whew, geez. And then come back to your mountain pose, march it out. So we can move the chair in front of us again. We're going to do our tree pose. So again, balance. And we're going to press into the right foot and take the left knee out to the left. You can have your chair wherever is comfortable. I just realized I don't like it in front because you can't really see. Left knee out to the left, bring it in or bring it up. We're pressing our foot into our leg if we can. So if you're out here, obviously you can't, but I want you to feel like you could. Imagine that you're pressing that left foot into the right and that your right one is pressing into the floor, but also everything is squeezing towards the midline. So you can feel that. It's like an isometric movement. You can come in or come up, like I said. But we don't want to press our foot into our knee joint. We don't want to create any additional instability here. So pressing into that right foot, taking any arm variation or mudra that you'd like. The left leg always trying to open up to the left. And then see if you can pick up your toes. We all start to wobble. So you pick up your toes and then set them all back down. Because if you are a toe gripper like I am, you know, I want to grip the floor with my toes. So we want to try to relax that gripping action. And then lower down, nice and slow, march it out. We're going to switch sides. So pressing down into the left foot this time. Right knee can come out to the right, come in, come up. Same thing as before on the other side. We're going to try to resist the urge to shoot our hips to the left. Want to keep that left leg strong. Right knee carves out to the right. So if your hips are tight, this action is pretty difficult. So any arm variation that you'd like, keeping our core strong, core engaged, pressing into the floor with the left foot. Again, if your toes are gripping the floor, lift and lower them. And then we'll slowly lower down and march it out. Good, 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 good. Let's see what time-wise. Okay. We'll move around to the front of our chair. We'll do our gratitude. So legs can be zipped up close together. This is going to be more of a balance challenge to sit in chair pose with the legs together. A little bit more stability. You can have the knees hip width. Again, a block between the thighs really helps so that you can press everything in, or goddess pose, which is knees and toes wide. But we want your knees and toes in all of these to be pointed in the same direction. So your choice, come as deep as you want. If your legs are wide, you can kind of rock side to side. Okay, settle into your pose, whatever arm variation you want. And so if you're in goddess and your knees want to fall in, sometimes it's because we're really tight in the hips. So pulling the belly in, strong core. No matter what position you're in, if you want to try to raise one heel, no matter if you're in chair or goddess, and then lower and lift the other one. So you can go back and forth, lifting each heel. And some people can lift both in these poses. Balance is hard. And then lower it down and we'll come all the way to the chair. Whew, that was a hard one. I couldn't even be grateful for anything at that point because I was just so concentrating on staying in the pose. So let's take a moment now to think of something that we're grateful for. While our quads get a little breather here. Granted, it's warm, but I got a little sweaty off that little bit. Okay, we're going to extend the right leg. We're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. We're going to lift and hold and smile. Yay. And then bring that right heel down. Bring the toes under if you can. So if you have like rods in your toes or anything and you can't curl your toes under, don't do it, skip it. If you can, bring your foot back so that the top of your foot is on the floor. This kind of stretches the front of the ankle. Again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can skip it. And then you either move to the right side of your chair or come sideways on your chair, and we're going to bring the right leg back. So you can just find a stable position if you can. So for me right now, what I tried, because my chair wants to eject me when I get too close to the edge, I think it's just the type of chair it is because I don't have this problem anywhere else. I have my whole left thigh on the chair now. My whole right leg is not even touching the chair. So I am opening up the hip flexor on my right side. You can play around with leaning forward and leaning back, kind of just enough to get a gentle, like you could almost not even feel it stretch here on the right side. We don't want to go to a point where you're like, yeah, I can feel it, because sometimes that you'll feel it later. And then we'll bring the right knee forward, come back into your chair. You can bring your right knee up and rock it. Try not to lean back. I say that because I was leaning back. And then we'll circle. The more upright you are, the more it's going to use your core. And then switch direction. And then we'll pick it up one more time. And if you can, you'll rotate your leg so that your ankle is over the knee. Totally cool. Do it that way. Or ankle to ankle or if you want somewhere in between, ankle to block, ankle to ottoman, ankle to puppy dog, whatever. Whoever will sit still for middle ground. So for me, my right side is much tighter than my left side. So this actually feels like I'm getting a pretty good stretch, some compression in the hip. And then if I want to hinge forward, I can add compression without doing anything crazy to my knee. Good, and then we'll come all the way up. We'll, you can cross again at the ankle, same. We're still doing the right leg on top here, or cross at the knee. And we're gonna twist to the right. Come back through center, twist to the left, legs stay the same. And untwist. We're gonna keep the legs just as they are for now. Now, if you're crossed at the knee, we wanna, see how my foot is kind of flung off to the left? I wanna squeeze it in towards the right. So if you're crossing at the ankle, squeeze your knees in together. So if you're crossing at the knee, squeeze your shins or your ankles towards each other. So you're moving everything towards the inside here. So we're going to give ourselves a hug with the right arm underneath. So if you look down at your arms, the left one is on top. I don't personally think it actually matters that much, but so here we go. We're going to inhale, lift the elbows. You can even arch the back. And then exhale, lower the elbows, bring your elbows towards your knees if you can reach. Like my knees are crossed, or I'm crossed at the knees, so it's a little bit, they're pretty close. And then inhale, open up, elbows come up towards the sky. We're still holding our legs together. And then exhale, elbows down, round the back. One last time, inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the elbows towards the knees. And this time we're gonna inhale, come all the way up, release the shoulders, open the arms wide, and uncross the legs. There, that's a lot going on right there. So we're going to lift the left leg this time. Hold it out in front, sit up tall. We're gonna lift and lower for 3. Lift and lower, 2. Last one, lift and smile. Anything done with a smile can be done for longer. And then lower it down. So we're gonna bring the toes under or the foot back and hold for a breath or 2. Eventually we're going to move into bringing that whole left leg back, getting into the hip flexor on the left side. So if it works out for you and you can be upright, great. If not, you can bring your knee a little bit forward, or you can lean a little bit forward. That takes some of the pressure off the hip flexor. Not sure why, but I'm way more balanced on this side. The other side, I kept wanting to fall off. My chair wanted to get rid of me. And then we'll bring that left leg back, come back into the front here, face front. And then we're gonna pick up the left knee and rock it. Try not to lean back too far. And then we'll circle. And then if you can circle without holding on, you can try that. And then switch directions. For any of you that are around this evening, I haven't decided if I want to do restorative or yin. So if anybody wants to join and they have some input, just send me a message. Or if some kind of combination, we'll come back to center. So pick that knee up again. We're going to give it a rock. You can rotate the leg so that the ankle ends up over the knee, or ankle to ankle, or ankle to block. We'll have that top foot flexed if possible. Kind of just keeps the joints in line. You can stay here, or you can start to hinge forward. It's so funny how different each side feels. It's like one side, easy to balance. The other side, it's like, I'm gonna fall out of the chair. One side feels open, one side feels tight. And I'm never really sure if I should push the tight side a little harder, or if I should back off on the flexible side. We'll come all the way up. You can cross at the ankle or the knee, your choice. And we're gonna sit up tall and twist to the right. I've asked teachers what they thought, and I've gotten a different answer basically for every teacher that I've asked. We'll come back to center and twist to the left. To me, it just kind of makes sense to not push my tight side. And then if I've been moving like this for 41 years or however long, maybe that's just the way it is, and just keep doing what I'm doing on the more flexible side. Untwist. So we're going to stay crossed at the knee or ankle. Again, if you're crossed at the knee, we're squeezing the left leg back towards the right leg. Now, if you're at the ankle, instead of flopping open the knees, we're squeezing them in tight. So this is going to really work your adductors, pulling them in, okay? This up at the knees, a little bit more hip feeling. So we're going to give ourselves a hug. This time the right arm is on top. So we're squeezing the legs towards each other, kind of keeping track of that. We're going to inhale the arms up, the elbows up. Exhale, bring the elbows towards the knees, round through the spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And then we'll inhale, lift up, release the arms, go out wide, uncross the legs, sit for a moment. Notice how you feel. You wouldn't think crossing your arms and legs is really a thing, but boy, it uses a lot of muscles. Okay, we're sitting up tall here, and we're going to press the left heel of your hand out in front. Could be right, I don't care. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. So we're gonna pull the fingers back towards our body, kind of gently stretching back here. Reaching under with the right hand, you grab the thumb of the left hand and you're kind of gently pulling back. Try to keep your shoulders down so you're not adding more strain to your shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Then we're going to go through each finger. So I have the index finger, the ring finger, or middle finger. Skip the middle finger altogether here. Come on, that's an important finger. ring finger, and pinky. Shake it out. Take some shoulder rolls. Anything to do with my hands, I instantly tense up my shoulders. So palm of the other hand is showing, fingers down. Reach for your fingers. And then reach for the thumb, reaching underneath and pulling kind of back here. And then each finger, index, ring, or middle, again, the middle finger, gee. Ring. And pinky, or little finger. And then shake it out. My brain just went to, what other names besides ring finger is this finger? And like, what if you, like, I'm sure there's other countries that don't wear rings. What do they call that finger? Okay, so we're gonna take some shoulder rolls, or when did that start? So if anybody is, you know, kind of one of those people that likes to look up those things, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, hands out in front in a fist. We're going to lift the thumbs. So the thumbs are on top and we're kind of lifting and lowering. So it actually, let me come up closer. So it looks like this. So the whole hand is moving up and down. Yeah. So not just the thumbs. Well, that works too. You can do that. It'll prep you for thumb wrestling later. You know, when we can do things in public again. Good. And then the backs of the hands are pointed up, and we're going to lift so your gaze, you'll see the backs of your hands. So it's, ooh, I'm too close, like this. I guess it's like the action of a dirt bike. You're like, I don't know. I don't ride dirt bikes. And I could be wrong, because I think if you did both, then I don't know what would happen. Anyway, shake them out. You can interlace the fingers, hold the forearms close together if you can, and figure eight the wrists. And then switch direction. Shake it out again, shoulder roll. Then we'll come to our tapping. So the outside, the pinky finger side of the hand, we're tapping. So I went for a walk the other night with my niece, and there was this smell, just like an amazing smell as we're walking over the hill from my house, and then like through most of the village, we could smell it. It was so good. It was this very fragrant flower smell. Now the heels of the hands. That was 2 nights ago, and I don't know what it is, but I smell it every year and I love it. And I've had that scent in a conditioner that I got from Lush years ago, and but I don't know what it is. And the bottoms of the thumbs. And we walked for last night, and I could smell it again, but this time it was back towards my family's place. So I looked at some peonies. I thought maybe it was them, and it kind of smells like that, but not really strong enough. Because this is like a boom smell, you know. And I'm thinking it's black locust. So we're taking the palm of our hand and then punching into the palm. So I'm going online and I'm looking up black locust and stuff like that, because I did find out what the tree was, and it smelled like that, has flowers on it. And then I look up, and it's an invasive plant in Vermont, an invasive tree. I'm a little bit bummed out because I love the smell, but it didn't say why it was invasive, so I'm not really sure. I do know that they will replant themselves, so you have to mow them down, which it shouldn't be a problem. You don't want a forest of trees, switching hands. You know, all I want is one tree that smells like that. So before I go investing in any trees or bringing in invasive species into Vermont, which there are everywhere, and I guess in kind of like settlement times, they were used a lot for the hardwood. So I'm not sure why it's invasive now. They're native to Connecticut, New Jersey, from what I read last night. Backs of the hands, tapping. I have a cut in the back of my hand, so this kind of hurts. So I'm going to take the top of one hand to the back of the other. And then switch. I'm going to do my wrist instead. Or maybe my fingers. Now we'll interlace and tap. So we're going to hold and switch. I went and bought mealworms for my ladies. They're dried mealworms. They're really creepy. I try to think about them as like those little crispy things on Chinese food. What are they, like a crispy onion thing? I'm not sure. You can get them in a little can. I used to eat those as a kid. I don't know I don't even know what they are. Switch. Did I say switch? I don't know. Whatever. We're still tapping here. And then the thumb and the forefinger, the webbing. But anyway, so I'm giving them mealworms, and then now, like, anytime I walk across the lawn, I have like 19 birds try to follow me, which I'm not gonna lie is amazing. I love it. And then switch. And then we're going to take our hands, we'll take a deep breath, and we're going to place them on a body part that is challenging to us, wherever that may be. And you're sending love, energy, awareness to those spots. And then we'll slowly remove the hands. We'll perform a little self-Reiki. So we'll take our prana-filled hands, our life force, energy, chi, whatever you want to think about it as. And we're going to take our hands and we're going to place them over body parts. So you can touch the body parts, but you don't have to. You can hover, especially because we're doing a little bit on the face. So you can just hover the hands if you want. We're going to start with the eyes. So you are noticing, you are your eyes, you are your face, you're noticing the sensations that your face is experiencing, not just your hands. Sometimes people will see color or an image or have some kind of other sensory or sensation thing happen. So then we'll place the hands over the jaw or the mouth. And then over the throat, and know that you are safe. And if there's ever anything that I ask you to do, or you know, in any of these things, and you just don't feel comfortable for whatever reason, just leave it out, skip it. And then over the heart or over the chest, just below the collarbones. Some things can be triggering, and I guess I never really thought about any of that until I took my first yoga teacher training. And where we want to be sympathetic or cognizant of other people's things going on, you can't omit everything that might trigger somebody, because then there really wouldn't be much going on in class. So when people have the autonomy to opt out of anything, it gives them a little bit more freedom. Now bringing the hands to the low ribs. Knowing you can opt out or modify is just super powerful feeling. And then over the belly button. Over the low belly or the hip flexors or the lap. On or over the knees. And then if you can reach the feet or the shins, go as deep as you feel comfortable. And then to the low back. And so this is, the low back is one area where I tend to just put my hands because it's hard to hover them. It kind of tweaks the shoulder a little bit. So the low back right above the hips or maybe at the hips. And then if you can reach a little bit higher, go as high as you can. And then on the shoulders with the fingers pointed back. Over the ears. And then over the base of the head and the top of the head. And this can all be done one-handed too. You don't have to do two hands. And then we'll allow our hands, our arms to come back down, moving our seat bones back into our chair, kind of resting your back against the chair if you can, if that's comfortable for you. And taking just a few breaths here to kind of sit with what we've done. Now we'll sit back up again. Bring our hands to the heart, and thank ourselves for being here and practicing together this morning. May we all feel loved, grateful, and connected. And may we have the strength and courage to overcome all obstacles before us. From my heart to your heart, peace and namaste. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording.